morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning news source, only here at the Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and at Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For today's headlines. The National Unity Party has adopted a policy of opposing any impeachment efforts against either President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. or Vice President Sara Duterte. Contractor Pacifico Curly Discaya dismissed plans to name more politicians allegedly linked to anonymous flood control projects, bluntly saying it would now be, quote, useless. In a deja vu of the 2013 pork barrel scandal, Senator Jinggoy Estrada and former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. have been charged with multiple counts of plunder over their alleged involvement in overpriced and ghost flood control projects. Iran's judiciary said Thursday that an Iranian man arrested during protests previously feared by NGOs in Washington to face imminent execution has neither been sentenced to death nor charged with a capital offense. The long-standing issue of hazardous materials entering the Philippines has resurfaced, with over 20 containers of radioactive zinc stranded in Manila Bay for months before being moved to a so-called safe location. Remittances from overseas Filipino workers fell to a 6-month low in November of 2025, according to the BSP. Oscar-winning actor Matthew McConaughey had trademarked his image and voice to protect himself against non-consensual artificial intelligence-generated content. Roger Federer said that Carlos Alcaraz winning the Australian Open to complete the career Grand Slam aged just 22 would be, quote, crazy. Today is the 16th of January 2026, Friday, and I'm Eliana Lacap bringing you today's top stories. Let's kick things off with today's weather. Tropical storm Ada continues moving slowly north-northwest over the Philippine Sea, east of eastern Visayas with maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour and gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour. Ada may pass near eastern and northern Samar tomorrow and Catanduanes by Sunday. The storm, along with the northeast monsoon, will bring strong to gale force winds across Luzon, Calabarzon, Bicol, Visayas, and Caraga. Coastal waters will be rough with minimal to moderate risks of storm surges in exposed areas. Mariners are advised not to venture out to sea and residents should stay alert for flash floods and landslides. Meanwhile, classes are suspended in the following areas due to weather conditions. Entire provinces, all levels public and private in Albay, Sorsogon, Northern Samar, and Eastern Samar. Meanwhile, in parts of Camarines Sur, Catanduanes Masbate, Mobo, and POV Corpus, Mahuyot in Negros Occidental, Kayawin in Biliran, and certain areas of Samar and Leyte, classes are suspended for all levels public and private. Other localized inspections include Bula, Camarines Sur, preschool to elementary plus selected high schools, Calibiran, Biliran, all levels public schools only, Colaba, Biliran, all levels public and private with work suspension in all institutions, Paranas, Samar, elementary to high school, public and private, Hinanguan, Southern Leyte, preschool to senior high school, public and private. Now for a traffic update. Light traffic is reported at Balintawak Toll Plaza, Bocaue Toll Plaza, and San Fernando northbound and southbound lanes. Approaching Mindanao Toll Plaza, motorists may encounter an approximate 150-meter vehicle queue. All other areas of NLEX, SOTEX, and NLEX connector, including toll plazas and interchanges, are experiencing light traffic conditions. Motorists are advised to stay alert and follow traffic advisories for a safe and smooth trip. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. The National Unity Party has adopted a policy opposing any impeachment moves against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. or Vice President Sara Duterte, with Party Chair and Deputy Speaker Ronaldo Puno calling such efforts pointless and politically driven. Puno said impeachment complaints would likely stall in the House or fail in the Senate due to administration dominance, impeachment fatigue, and stricter Supreme Court rules. He added that Congress should instead focus on urgent concerns, including alleged multi-billion peso flood control anomalies, as legal questions over Duterte's scrapped impeachment remain unsolved. Now, contractor Pacifico Curly Discaya said naming more politicians allegedly tied to anomalous flood control projects would be quote useless, claiming the investigation has been compromised and whistleblowers are being pressured. Currently detained by the Senate, Discaya, one of the 15 contractors named by President Marcos, said he regrets exposing alleged kickbacks in DPWH projects, arguing the probe focuses only on the recent years and protects administration allies. He denied claims of ghost projects, citing COA audits, and said his lawyers will seek a judicial inspection to prove the projects exist. Now, Senator Jinggoy Estrada, former Senator Bong Revilla Jr., and ex-Ako Bicol Representative Saldico faced multiple plunder complaints over alleged overpriced and ghost flood control projects, recalling their 2013 pork barrel scandal involvement. Filed by the NBI and now under DOJ preliminary investigation, the non-bailable cases include plunder, graft, bribery, and procurement violations, with many projects in Bulacan. Authorities say the complaints reveal systemic irregularities in infrastructure spending, distinct from prior ombudsman-led pork barrel cases where Estrada and Revilla were acquitted of plunder but convicted on related corruption charges. Efron Sultani, arrested during recent protests in Iran, is not facing the death penalty, the judiciary confirmed, with his charges propaganda against the Islamic system and acting against national security punishable only by imprisonment if convicted. U.S. President Donald Trump said he received assurances that executions of protesters have been halted, though the claims remain unverified. The announcement eased fears of military action and caused oil prices to drop, as Iran accounts for roughly 3% of global oil production. Over 20 containers of radioactive zinc rejected by Indonesia due to traces of Caesium-137 were stranded in Manila Bay for months before being brought ashore to a temporary safe place. The zinc, a steel production byproduct, poses low radiation risk but raises concerns about storage and disposal. Authorities are considering Subic-based World War II-era ammunition bunkers or a purpose-built underground facility for long-term containment. Past hazardous waste incidents and warnings from environmental groups highlight potential long-term health and ecological risks. Overseas Filipino worker remittances dropped to a 6-month low in November 2025, totaling to $2.91 billion, down to $210 million from October, but still above last year's $2.8 billion. Land-based workers sent $2.30 billion, while sea-based workers contributed $0.61 billion. Year-to-date remittances rose to 3.2% to $32.11 billion, with the U.S., Singapore, and Saudi Arabia as top sources. Personal remittances, including informal channels, reached $3.23 billion in November. Economists expect a seasonal December surge. OFW remittances remain crucial to the country, making up 8 to 9% of GDP. Oscar-winning actor Matthew McConaughey had trademarked his image, voice, and iconic line, "All right, all right, all right," to prevent unauthorized AI-generated content. Approved by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the move ensures any use of his likeness requires his consent. McConaughey, along with Michael Caine, partnered with AI company 11 Labs to create a Spanish version of his voice for his newsletter, and is also an investor in the firm. The effort comes amid rising concerns over non-consensual celebrity AI content on social media. Swiss tennis legend Roger Federer called it crazy if 22-year-old Carlos Alcaraz wins the Australian Open to complete a career Grand Slam. Alcaraz, already a six-time major winner, has yet to lift the Melbourne Trophy. Federer compared to the challenge to Rory McIlroy's long quest for his first Masters. If Alcaraz triumphs, he would become the youngest man to achieve a career Grand Slam, surpassing Rafael Nadal, who completed all four majors by age 24. Now a quick look at today's horoscope. Today calls for self-care and boundaries, Scorpio. You may be asking yourself, how much can I really handle on my own? Unconditional love surrounds you, but it's time to draw the line and focus on your well-being. Stop trying to keep every sinking boat afloat and give yourself a guilt-free break. Your path ahead is becoming clearer, and mental peace and emotional grounding are essential for walking it with strength and clarity. Katribo, did you know that multiple Tony Awards, a Pulitzer Prize, Grammy Awards, and a Kennedy Center honor? Beyond theater, Miranda contributed to films like Moana, Mary Poppins Returns, Encanto, and directed Tick Tick Boom. His work celebrates diversity, storytelling, and the arts, making him one of the most influential figures in modern American entertainment. Now today's viral story comes from a Facebook reel that has racked up 6.1 million views, showing three cute dogs with a chicken? In the clip, three Shih Tzus watched the chicken carefully as if they were hunting for food. The user captioned it, "Walang gagalaw guys, chimken na to." While netizens commented from the dog's point of view, saying things like, "Ulam na, lumipad pa," among other funny reactions. That's all for now, mga katribu. Join us again at 1 o'clock p.m. for more updates. This has been Eliana Lacap for Tribune News on Q.